The infamous Fayde. His rise from 30k to 500k subscribers overnight was nothing short of a phenomenon. And it's not Fayde's aim or personality that sets him apart. It's his movement. There's no one in the world quite like Fayde. He has one of the most unique playstyles in all of the Apex Legends community. Around a year ago, I released a video about how to move like Fayde. In that video, I talked about his technique and the special movement he uses. I planned for that to be the last video I ever made regarding Fayde, but since then I've spent more time watching his gameplay and analyzing his content, and I kept noticing things that surprised me. Countless players have attempted to replicate Fayde's playstyle, but few have succeeded. The reason for this is simple. They're focusing on the wrong things. In this video, I'll reveal all the insights I've gained from analyzing Fayde's gameplay, giving you the tools you need to replicate his playstyle. A quick glance at Fayde would tell you that he's a very aggressive player. He's constantly dropping 20 plus kill games and his damage numbers are consistently off the charts. He tends to engage in fights at close ranges and loves the opportunity to fully challenge his opponents up close. But he actually does this in a very methodical way. What I notice is that almost everyone who tries to play like Fayde uses this kind of ultra aggressive, get up close and tap strafe style of play. And they do it all the time. In every fight, in every situation, which ultimately causes a lot of deaths and inconsistencies. It would seem like Fayde does the exact same thing. He always runs a shotgun and all of his fights are at close range, but it's actually not true. The biggest misconception about Fayde is that he has an aggressive playstyle. The more and more I watch Fayde play, the more and more I realized how passive his playstyle really is. You'll never see Fayde try to take a fight where he is at a disadvantage, or even at a level playing field with his opponent. Fayde has one of the most passive playstyles in the entire Apex community, yet he still drops insanely high damage in high kill games. The reality is, Fayde is a very smart player, so the first step in developing Fayde's playstyle is playing passively. But what does that mean, and how does Fayde do it? Well, the first thing Fayde does very well to contribute to his passive playstyle is getting out of bad situations before he takes damage. Fayde would rather retreat as soon as he senses danger than try to force anything. If he is in a situation that is anything other than advantageous to him, he simply will not fight. For example, in this situation, Fayde is on full health, but he doesn't have a full read on the situation, so he phases out and repositions. This is a very passive way to play, but you'll see Fayde do it time and time again. He won't even think about shooting his gun until he clearly knows what is going on around him. Obviously, Fayde loves ziplines. If he is near a zipline, he will use this tactic to back out to that zipline and bait teams into following him. If you want to play like Fayde, you have to fight on your own terms. That means picking a situation that benefits you and getting out of bad situations before taking damage. If Fayde is out in the open or in a place where multiple people can get a line of sight on him, he leaves to find a building, zipline, or somewhere with more assets to play with. I have made a past video covering positioning if you want to know more about what makes a power position a power position. But if you watch Fayde's gameplay carefully, you'll start to notice how rarely he commits to a fight. The only time Fayde will ever fully commit to a fight is when he knows before he can win it. This is the problem I mentioned before. Most people who try to replicate Fayde's playstyle commit to every fight and do it way too early. Fayde's fights are usually long and drawn out. He never rushes in or puts himself in a bad situation, even if it means missing out on kills. Playing like Fayde means prioritizing healing over chasing an enemy. It is always better to stay alive and stay healthy than risk dying for a kill. Fayde also always makes sure he has an escape route or way out if he needs it. He would rather reposition and wait than take a 50-50 fight or commit without knowing his surroundings. That doesn't mean he never commits though. If Fayde knows an enemy is weak or has an isolated 1v1 where he is at an advantage, he will fully commit and use his movement to do it with speed. He usually won't take that much damage from any single opponent using this strategy, which is why he can 1v3 teams so consistently. Playing like Fayde takes more than just quick movement, which takes me to the next way Fayde uses a passive playstyle, capitalizing on opponent mistakes. By being more passive and drawing out fights, Fayde creates more opportunities for his opponents to mess up. They will ride a zipline straight up, heal out in the open, revive a teammate, or split up from the squad. And when they do, Faide will capitalize on that mistake. A major benefit of Faide's passive playstyle is that it can lull opponents into a false sense of security, causing them to drop their guard and make critical errors. You just have to be ready and punish them when they do. This pairs really nicely with the movement aspect of Faide's playstyle. Having quick movement allows him to capitalize on his opponent's mistakes more frequently. Opponent makes a mistake and bam, he's on him. Most of what Faide plays is pubs, so it makes sense that he's developed this playstyle over time. The thing is, Apex is such a dynamic game that players at every level will make mistakes. And in Apex, a mistake is only a mistake if you capitalize on it, so don't let your opponent's mistakes go unpunished. One of Faide's standout qualities is his ability to outplay his opponents. This is a big reason why so many people enjoy watching him and want to copy his playstyle. However, the question remains, how does he do it? How does he outplay opponents so consistently that they look like they don't even know what game they're playing? Well, first of all, Faide is very dynamic. He's constantly moving around and never staying in one place. Faide is quick. He's fast. He's always moving. This causes his opponents to lose track of him and become completely lost and confused. In Faide's eyes, if you're not moving, then what are you doing? This means holstering your weapon when not actively using it and frequently changing the angles and approaches you take during a fight.
I always holster when I play. Gun out, holster.
Faide never uses the same angle twice. He catches his enemies by surprise, gets damage, and moves to the next one. If you do it like this, your opponents will never know where you are going to pop up next. This allows you to control the pacing of the fight and get good damage without them ever expecting it. I'm going to throw in a quick example right now of Faide doing this. Besides constantly moving, Faide is a master of map knowledge. He knows every building and every area on every map. He's even developed healing routes in the popular POIs, some of which he showed in his movement guide.
One of the things you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to make a healing route or like an escape route. It's kind of like a healing route, escape route, kind of both. I'm going to show this in every building, but I have healing routes and escape routes for every building. As you guys have probably seen in my videos, I like to heal here a lot. I like to heal right here a lot, behind this door. Obviously there's a door here, so it's like a free heal. And it's always in the back of my mind that I can heal here, I can heal down here on this door. I can heal in a room and look up. Like, you want to... It doesn't really matter where your healing route is. It's just like you need to mentally make one so you know where to go over and over.
Faide's mastery of the map allows him to always know the best angles to take, where to reposition, and all in all helps in outplaying opponents. Map knowledge either just comes from playing the game or watching YouTube and Twitch. What I suggest you start doing is taking note of any tricks on the map or special places you can heal in. Every single one of the Apex maps are built to be very complex. They have tricks and rat spots all over them. It's just a matter of knowing where they are. For instance, I watched Faide's latest video and he made use of the backwards gravity cannon trick. I remember showing this trick in one of my videos, but it's rare to see anyone make use of it. Everyone knows Faide for his movement, but what is often overlooked are his other mechanics. Faide honestly has world-class aim. The man used to compete in ALGS where aim is everything, and it shows in his gameplay. I've always said that aim is the most important thing in Apex, and Faide is no different. Both his shotgun aim and spray is consistently better than his opponents. He doesn't have to rely on his movement to win fights. He is still a very, very good player without it. Aim not only alone makes him a really good player, but it builds on the passive playstyle I talked about before. He needs that initial damage and opening to be able to capitalize on. And when he gets up close, he needs to finish the job quickly without taking too much damage.
Right now, this dude got good movement and good aim. You feel me? That's what makes him so good.
Unfortunately, Faide's playstyle requires more than just movement. You need the aim too. Faide would not be able to do anything close to what he does without his insane aim. And as Imperial House says, you can't kill anyone with movement.
Yeah, Noko, I didn't, like if you had really good movement, Noko, you can literally body slam a player and kill him somehow. You know that, Noko? You know like movement can like kill a player? I didn't know movement was more important than aim in this game.
I haven't really talked about the unique movement side of Faide's playstyle very much in this video, because I want to contrast it to the old video I made on Faide where I talked more about the actual movement and techniques he uses. But movement is a big part of Faide's gameplay, so here's what you need to take away from this video. Faide knows every little movement trick in the game, and he knows how to do all of them consistently. Superglide, wall bounce, tap strafe, mantle jump, you name it. Faide stays on top of his movement and he learns new techniques as soon as they come out, which they often do. In Apex, we have a new movement tech about every 3 months. Faide is always on the lookout for new movement he can add into his gameplay, and he learns it right away. In his last few videos, I saw Faide using a technique that was just recently discovered. It allows you to do a zipline super jump near a zipline, but outside of the normal interact range. It would be really useful for Faide to know this trick because he's constantly using ziplines and fighting around them. The tech was invented by Set3KH, but explained in a video by the villain side. When I watched it, I noticed the top comment was already Faide's. He learned the trick and implemented it into his gameplay right away. He's consistently learning the new movement techniques that come out and actually using them in his gameplay. If you want to learn how to do techniques like super gliding, wall running, mantle jumping, tap strafing, or anything else consistently, don't worry, I've got you covered. I have a bunch of movement related videos on my channel that help you learn all the advanced movement in Apex Legends. Other than that, please like this video and subscribe if you found it useful. These videos take some time and effort to make, and as of now they're not monetized, so if you can like and subscribe that would be greatly appreciated. Have a great rest of your day and thank you so much for watching.